Okay then, folks. Hope you're well. I really do. Take these off for a moment. You don't need the glare, although they're going back on in a moment. Right, I'm just going to run through quickly what I'm going to cover today. It's my first proper day back when I've had a good chance to look at all the news outlets I would normally look at and hopefully get some info together to discuss. Unfortunately, it's a bit weird. I'm struggling to find stuff. I really am. So this is what I'm going to cover today, and I hope it will do you. Now, by the way, before I go any further, let me apologise. I've got this dry cough. I've had it since last Monday. It will not go. It just won't go. You're going to have me coughing throughout the broadcast. There's nothing I can do. I'm not going to knock them on the head and re-record, because I'm going to re-record and cough again. There's just nothing I can do about it. So, apologies up front. Right, what we're going to cover. Bins back on. We're going to... just to flesh things out and to give something extra, I'm going to do a quick overall on my Tenerife jaunt, and I'm going to recommend, should anybody be going to Tenerife in the coming weeks or months, what I would suggest you do whilst you're there. Some suggestions from me, you might take them on board, you might not. If you do, I think you'll be happy with them. I would look at doing the bits I've done and adding your own bits to it, and I think you'll have a good time. So a few recommendations on Tenerife. We're going to do something on John McEnroe, that's a recommendation of me. We're going to do something about Harry Kane, that's some thoughts from me. And we're going to do some recommendations from another Kane, Michael Kane. You might already have read them, they've been in the news the last couple of days. And then just a quick shout out to Sounds of the 70s. You all know I like Sounds of the 70s, I've mentioned it many times in the past. And a gentleman from down in Wiltshire. I nearly choked on my cornflakes earlier when I heard it. I'm making that up, I wasn't eating cornflakes at the time, but I nearly choked. I had to rewind it just to make sure I did it correctly. And I think, well, I definitely had. Unless old Johnny Walker's made a mistake, I don't know, but I was a bit shocked. So I'm going to add that as well, so Sounds of the 70s. And finally, we're going to do something on Russell Brand, because at last now I have watched Dispatches, I watched it late last night, so I've got a more rounded and more formed opinion than I had before. It's pretty much similar to before, but I've got a harder stance than I had before. After watching Dispatches, that'll probably be, it could be the first or last message, that one I'm not sure. It's going to be the longest one. I'm going to try and talk a little slower to that, so it might bore some people. If you're bored by it, just pass it by. Okay, so that's what we're looking at today, unless that is anything else happens in the next 3 or 4 hours. And by the way, glad to be back. Hope you're all well.